Every Thursday night, 9 p.m., Iconic Cafe hits the digital radio airwaves with the best in home interviews and cooking. Be sure to check out Iconic Cafe Mishawaka Facebook page for upcoming and archive shows. Now that's iconic.
Come back to Mishawaka for some home cooking, whether you're out late at night or up early in the morning. Featuring Dog and Suds root beer, iconic cupcakes, homemade biscuits and gravy. The Iconic Cafe, 215 North Main Street, Mishawaka.
Hey, welcome, Iconic Radio. This is Bruce Tassell. Glad to have you on. Got a great guest tonight. One of my good friends, Mr. Tim Bennett, will be on shortly. Bill is at the Cubs Open baseball game, but as usual, I got to have him pay the bills. So, of course, XERS weekly events, Phoenix Grill tonight, Open Jam Friday, Top Secret. Saturday, Blast from the Past, Art and the Artichokes are back. Cheers Pub will have an open jam tonight. Friday, Sucker Punch, and Saturday, One-Eyed Doll and Downtown Brown. 5-Star Dive Bar. Jason, Thursday, open stage. Friday, the Unit. And Saturday will be the Smash Kings. Rock Sports Bar is nothing going on. Saturday, too, there is a fundraiser from 4 to midnight for Isaac Montgomery. That's Edwardsburg American Legion. The band's playing will be Night Moves, Rat Saloon, members only, and Retro Radio. So a lot of great groups on that. There will be no classics tonight from Bill because, like I said, he's at the Cubs game. So let me now introduce Mr. Tim Bennett. How you doing today, Tim?
Bruce Tassell from the Mishawaka Tassels, right? So, and my earliest memory of your family is your pop, and he, your mom and dad knew my mom and dad from Playland amusement park before it was a golf course.
Right.
You know, when they were about 17 or 18. So very familiar. Your dad always made great food, and anytime I ever wanted or needed anything for like an event or anything, your dad was the first, like, yeah, we're in. So, I appreciate this is hometown at its best. Or in my case, as its worst or average. That's what I can say.
Well, we always go back. I think from the first is I used to watch you play with the Kinetics, which was a great band. You were always the crazy one with the huge bass, flying around the stage, which I still enjoy today. That's fantastic.
As Scotty Thompson would always say, the great Scotty Thompson, is Tommy was the organ grinder and I was the monkey. So he would start grinding and then all right, watch this. We just gave him sugar. And then things would just happen. I would break things, I met Tommy and them in 1978. I was still in high school, and I ended up running sound for the Pages. I mean, I went and saw them, and then went right up and said, hey, I can run sound better than this guy. Just Tim Bennett, that's classic Tim Bennett.
Yeah,
dude,
what you say about me about that?
It's so funny, man. And that was a great relationship, and I went in the Navy, and after 4 years, I got out. Never had played guitar, no music lessons, nothing, and Tommy Thompson and Lee Madison put me through rock and roll boot camp, and within 3 months of getting out of the Navy, I learned how to play bass and 3 sets of music, and the fun never stopped after that. It was probably one of the greatest parts of my life, playing for Tommy and Lee and the Kinetics and then the Benders, and they were just family to me, and that it's beautiful. Absolutely.
And I always liked about him, and you too, it was down to earth. Like after a show, you could come up, talk to you, hang out. There was never any, sense of being better or anything. And I always enjoyed that with you guys.
It was always fun. And, Tommy was a jerk. Come on, let's go. Let's break. I don't mean to speak ill, but come on. Dude, get with it. Hey. Giddy up. But no, absolutely, brother. And not to say that there weren't, it's your family, man. You have great times. You have times that aren't so great. But Love, pure love. Have nothing but love for that brother, man.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And of course, we miss Tommy as usual and stuff, but I know Lee still plays out. And in fact, I'm trying to get some music here. We'll put it on the radio show. I talked to Bill about it. So Monday nights when they do locals, we'll be having some Kinetics and some Benders coming.
It's so funny. I'm sitting in front of this London Calling, the Clash, and he's got the bass upside down, and that right there probably speaks the closest to what I was, because I'm a hack bass player. It was all about what I could add as the show. Lee, master guitar, Tommy, one of the best songwriters I've ever heard or worked with in my entire life. But I was a hack, man. Let's just call it what it was. But I would get up on a bar, and slide down and get people to pay attention, maybe stay a little longer. Again, man, just absolutely everything good in my world. I smile about those times.
They were great.
Time.
And you always didn't have a shirt on either.
Yeah, once in a while. Yeah, Flea, shoot, man. Dude, I did that in the 80s, man, brother. Right?
Flea learned from you, man.
Yeah. I used to have a six-pack. Now I have like 2 kegs. It's like sad, man. Right on.
Hey, you still got your bass?
I do. I have a couple of basses. Unfortunately, I've not been able to physically play for probably more than a year, so which is an incredibly frustrating thing. I've just had some health issues, and I can't skate anymore. I can't play anymore. So really, some of the biggest outlets I ever had in my life, I'm not able to do. So you learn how to challenge yourself to learn something else, right, or to do something else to have that outlet. But yes, I certainly would love to beat a bass into submission. My favorite things in the world.
Yeah, it was great. And too, where I met you, or really got to hang out with you too, was the magazine Michiana Now, which to us was like the Rolling Stones. I mean, we were acting like we were on top of the world with that.
It was very fun. Bill Dobslaw publication. And remember Mick Perry, the cat? He would wear that straw. And I remember, now there's desktop publishing, right? You can just go on your computer. Back then, you'd have to go to a typesetter and then wax it and then paste it up, like literally cut and paste,
It'd
right?
Be on the table.
And on a light table, right? And so I can remember one time we were missing a word. We had to all get down on the floor and look to see if it was on someone's shoe, and sure enough, it was. And that's like 3 a.m. Who knows what was happening in that room, man? But oh my gosh, brother, that was like priceless.
That was so much fun.
Absolutely.
Guys. And we go to shows, and we get backstage, and it was just. I was on top of the world. It
was a lot of fun, and and the thing that I guess that really to me is that we were able to help some other people. We gave a voice to other people who didn't have that voice. They're out there woodshedding their music or their craft of whatever it was, acting, art, whatever it was. Remember John Q. Smith, and he was like one of the
Vincent
craziest.
Van Gogh.
Yeah, that's right. He was one of the craziest cats I'd ever met in my life. I'm like, dude, and by that time I'd been around the world, right, in the service. So I was like, this cat is rock and roll, and I love those. And again, man. Just like what Bill's doing here with the station and different shows, is you're allowing somebody to have a voice.
Yes.
And that is an incredibly powerful thing, to give somebody a voice who wouldn't ordinarily have it. I'm pretty lucky in my world because I spin differently, and whether that's good or bad, I don't really calculate that. But to be able to give somebody a voice in this world is so powerful, and it can be good or bad. It's not necessarily good or bad, but what it does is it allows people to see that in so many ways we're exactly the same. Certain things bother us, certain things we love. Everyone loves kittens, unless you're allergic, and there's whatever. But so these things happen, and to give that voice and to stand behind it, right? It's like, so if I say something offensive, Bill, I won't. But if I did, I have to accept responsibility for that, right? That's on me. But if you allow somebody to have this voice, you can change the world. And then not necessarily the whole world, but just the world in front of you. And that power right there is it just gives me goosebumps, like literally right now as I say that, because I think of people who have given me that power throughout my life. And, and that power has led to me to do crazy things. It has led me to believe in other people without judging them, and to have my own voice. And whether people judge me or not, I don't really care. But honestly, it's a beautiful thing. So when we were at Michiana now, man, you took these incredibly great pictures, man. You have a great eye. And if you don't know that, you need to go and look at Bruce Tassell's work, man. Where can people see your work, brother?
I got to put it back on. I don't even have it on.
Yeah, we need to see that, because that Bruce, powerful. And when you think about it, it was power in black and white.
Yes.
There was not color. So we so old, man. We didn't even have color back then. I said, hey, what? You kids, you got that color TV, huh? Oh. So, when I see your power with the lens, and to capture this single moment in black and white, half-toned back then, it's something that I remember very clearly, vivid, imagining being there, because that's the killer part about a still picture, is it captures, you feel that. And I thought you were always great at that, man. And I loved it. Shoot, man, how fun was that? My gosh.
All right, T. Wait, T, let's take a break. Got some Tom Jones. We'll be right back. Iconic Radio. All right, we're back on Iconic Radio. Hey, I want to thank Iconic Cafe for sponsoring always. Brenda's always making some great food down there. April's there tonight, open 24/7. So, Tim, always on break, we have some great conversation.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I got to go iconic, man, because we can't be iconic if we're not iconic, all right? So when I went there a couple weeks ago, I went to see, when it was, we were at the Phoenix, see a band. Went down and dude, there's a jukebox at each table.
That's
okay?
right.
All right. So you can sit down. You can have you have some eggs, some bacon. Get yourself a little radio. Play some songs, man. It was so cool. And so I say, in my world, that is totally iconic. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I can control the music. And some dude 2 tables down, like, dude, don't play any of that. Don't play any of that stuff. And what do I play? Play a little Sinatra, man. That's right. Summer Wind. All right. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, it was very good. Again, we were talking on break, and the voice was great. You were talking about, and it brings me up of how much you were a part of the community. Growing, every time I'd see you, we go in and out. I'd see you a couple months, then I wouldn't see you. And every time I'd see you, you'd always be there for a cause. And, I remember the skating rink was a big cause.
Yeah.
And what I appreciated about you is no one else cared. That skating rink could have closed down.
Well, first of all, most of those things I did, I always had a real high fever, and that's when the ideas came. So that's how that comes about, right? But no, actually, there was a thing called the Families for Howard Park. They wanted to keep it open. A councilwoman, Sylvia Shelton, I believe her name was. When the Mayor Kernan, and all these other people turned their backs, they were not. If it would have been a mall or a golf course, people would have been up in arms. The mayor turned his back, and I thought, somebody's got to do something. And I was in and out of town. I was doing a production gig, and I thought, geez, somebody has got to do something, not knowing it was going to be me, right? So it was a very interesting turn. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go see these people, the Family for Howard Park. And I show up, and it's a bunch of moms in the neighborhood helping out, and they were going to have a raffle with a football from Notre Dame. And I went, oh, we got a problem here. No, I can get you one of those. No one, it's not worth that money. We need to turn some heads. So I called the city of South Bend. Another great, outstanding idea and move by Tim Bennett. Like, hey, all right, so check this out. And I said, I'm going to live at the ice rink and raise awareness until we can get the money. And the girl goes, hold on. So, and then I talked to somebody else and whatever. And finally, they realized that I wasn't kidding. Like, no, I'm showing up there this Sunday night, and I'm going to start. So that's the way it's going to be. And they're like, well, we'll arrest you. I said, I don't care. That'll be even better. Thank you so much. So finally they were like, oh my gosh, man, they felt so sorry for me. So, plus it would have been a PR mess. And they allowed me to sleep in the little warming room. And I stayed there for 11 days. At one point, I remember John Vance at WAOR, right? Johnny Vance. Right. He and Jack and Rob at Sunny 101. And but I talked to him, said, would you talk to me, do a live thing in the morning, in the lunchtime, in the afternoon, just a couple minutes. And I remember talking to Johnny Vance, and who was a hero in my mind, man. Firefighter, right. Outstanding person, one of the most outstanding people I've ever met. And he said, so what's it like, Tim? And I was on a beach chair with an umbrella and a beach ball. It was 17 degrees. It was snowing sideways. I mean, school was canceled one of those days. And, absolutely, I was not going to buckle. And 11 days, we raised enough money. They literally got some new dasher boards. They got flooring in there. The great people at Steel Warehouse helped go get the compressor, bring it in. And, and brother man, community is what you make of, right? That community wasn't just South Bend. That was people from all over Michiana and who, had some memories of that. Or I said something that allowed them to participate because I didn't donate a penny. I was simply the conduit to allow people to give for something for the better goodness of the community. Right? So, because in reality, if you drive down a street and you see a guy and it's 17 degrees, the roads are icy, and he's got a beach chair and an umbrella and he's given, hey, is that for me? Is my mom? Did Geraldine, I'm sorry. That's bad taste. But anyway, so, that is... And it's funny we're talking about that, and I said is that my mom? My mom passed away a month and a half ago, and I can remember distinctly going to Howard Park and skating on Thanksgiving Day, back before it was politically incorrect, and just these incredible memories that my parents gave to me and my community gave to me. So why wouldn't I want to come back and try to do the same thing for somebody else? It makes total sense in my brain, right, and in my heart. And still to this day, man, I will meet somebody and and I'll say my name and like, hey, are you the crazy guy who lived at Howard Park? Like, yeah, man, shoot, yes. So community, it's a very strong word, And again, as I was saying about the about broadcasting or the media or anything. It's such a powerful thing, and it can be either really good and help and move things forward, or it can be devastating and can stop people's forward motion. And you see it today in the news, and I'm not going to get political or anything else, but when I see a nation so divided and everybody's pointing their fingers at everybody else, it is incredibly mind-numbing, and it sucks the soul out of you that, like, why can't we just figure out how to get along? Like, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I ride right down the middle. I don't care. But what are you doing taking things away from our community? Why are you tearing things down? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And it doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter how much cake you have, doesn't matter about anything. I see cats doing incredibly powerful things. They get nothing. They get no press. They get nothing. And then some knucklehead does something, and oh gosh, woo, bird, oh my gosh. Like, what is wrong with you? So, when I look at the silly things I've done, man, I've always tried to stay positive. I've always tried to bring it back that this is who I am. This is where I come from. No matter where I've lived in the world or traveled in the world, I am so proud to be from South Bend, Indiana. I can't tell you enough. I can't express it enough. And, right to this day, man, I have stuff in my car right now and I'm bringing into town for somebody, and they have no clue. And their faces will explode when they see what I brought for them. And it has nothing to do with, oh, Tim Bennett's great. It has nothing to do with that. I just want to see the look on their face like, oh my God, dude, that is so cool, right? That's life right there, baby. That's life.
We talked too, and I asked you, when were you influenced, to be this way? And I say that in a positive way, because for all I've known you, you're still the same.
I know, it's so crazy.
But when did all this start for you, this community and this...
It's funny, the earliest that I can remember, I was about 12 years old, and this girl, Lisa Wyan, she went to St. Matthew's with me, and she had this backyard carnival or something, and it was for the Jerry Lewis Telethon. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever, man. We can have fun, and we can help people. What is bad about that? That spoke to me on every single level. And at the age of 54, I've done crazy amounts of volunteering. And it's not because, hey, Tim Bennett's great. It's because my heart tells me, and my spirit is like, dude, get up, get moving, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and let's go. And, in that type of altitude, it can help. And, man, I volunteered for the Jerry Lewis Telethon from the age of like 14 until probably I was about 30. That's crazy, right? Like, who does that? Like, I don't know, man. Like, stay up all night. I was, and it's fun because you have like-minded people who want to help others. They don't really want anything. I was in the back sorting mail. Which is not good because I have dyslexia, right? So, like, I remember the mail guy coming like, all right, you know what? Who's in charge back here? I'm like, just the one guy, like me. And he's like, okay, let's go. You're out of here. And it's just, it's like, oh my God. And he goes, why don't you just be in charge of refreshments, right? Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be the best refreshment guy you've seen, man. And so that's so funny. And, again, I think it really, Bruce, it comes back to you either believe in the person in the mirror, because the person that I see in the mirror is everyone I've met in my life, right? Like my parents, the St. Matthew's, that community, Riley High School, the hockey community has been instrumental in helping me, and I can't even begin to describe that. Theater community, John Kaus and all those people, man. When I was in the Navy, how those things, and I'm not a conformist, as you know. So me making 4 years in the Navy, and being honorably discharged still boggles my mind. Like, really, dude? You made 4 years, huh? And no, like, you know, and this is the greatest story ever. When you go in the Navy, it's like you start enlisted pay grade 1, E1, and then E2 and E3. I made it in 4 years. I made it to E3, right? 4 times. Okay? Meaning every time I get up to E3, I do something, and I get busted, right? And I remember this guy I was working for, and he was the nicest guy, always believed in me, and he goes, "Hey, Bennett." I'm like, "Yeah, petty officer." And he goes, Don't sew those stripes on, man. Just save yourself the trouble. And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Because you're going to lose them, all right?" And I was like, "All right, well, okay, that seems reasonable." And sure enough, man, like about a month later, you know, Tim Bennett's like, "Hey, check it out, man. I'm going to see if I can make this guy laugh." And like, "Dude, why do you do that?" And so that's just crazy, man. But, you know, again, it's service, man. And at that time, the Navy was my service. That was my community, you know, and it's you know, there's this. Somebody asked me what, you know, why I do what I do in my life, not for a living, and I've always kind of responded that that I wanted to change the world, because in my little nutshell brain, I thought I could change the world. And I met this beautiful, beautiful person, man. She was just had the greatest soul ever. And she said, "Tim Bennett, you change the world in front of you pretty much every day. You make people laugh. You help them. You know," and it's like, huh. And it just blew my mind. I didn't even know what to like. Well, what? Like, what? Can we talk about that? No, that's all you need. That's all you need to know. And it took me about 5 years, literally, because I'm not very fast. It took me about 5 years. Like, okay, I'm fine with that. I can change the world in front of me, man. And you know, and dude, again, when we talked about like Michiana Now or some of the, even with the band, you know, I remember people would come out and see us and they would just be praised. And they were the outcasts. They were the people who got bullied. They were the people who, and we gave them this thing, right? Yes. And Tommy wrote these great songs and we just blow out places. And all the outcasts, you know, like the broken toys, right? The broken toys in the toy box came to see us, and we embraced them. They were our family. We were their family, and you know, you can change the world with just a gesture, like "How you doing today?" and not ask it, but mean it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And shoot, dude, we're in Pleasant Valley, right? I mean, that should just make everyone smile right now, you know? It is Osceola. And I shall not, I will not, I cannot knock any of it. I just, yes. So, we're going to just move on from right there. Shh.
But with me, I've always admired you, and because your intention was always good, you know. And I mean, you did some crazy stuff, dude. You know, I know. Sometimes I'd shake my head, but it was out of respect. More than anything for you, because I knew your intention was, you know, to do something for someone else. It's
and you know, a quick story. Camp Millhouse. Somebody called me one day, a casual acquaintance, called me and said, Camp Millhouse is only going to have half camp, meaning half the people who go to camp there were only going to go this 1 year because they just didn't have the funding. And I thought, you know, here are the most special people in our community. Yes. And somebody's going to tell them the 1 week that they can go and be like everybody else, that they can't go because someone's going to give them 50 cents. That's not going to ever happen in a community that I live in, that I can make any difference. And I ended up 1 year, the first year, inline skating 32 straight hours. I get 5 minutes off. And then the next year at the College Football Hall of Fame, what a great deal that was. I did it and for 36 straight hours, and it was about 85 degrees with about 75% humidity. I literally skated my feet down to a nub. And when you see all the kids from Camp Millhouse come out, and they put these bags around where I was skating, and they lit, I have a little cold, sorry, man. They lit these candles in the bags with sand in them. They had little messages. It proved to me and to myself that what I'm doing here is exactly the thing I should be doing. And that, again, being the conduit, because I didn't give any money, I didn't do anything. But literally to see those special people come out and cry, and gosh, man, that's like the coolest thing I think I've ever done in my life, man. It moved my world to a different level. It just simply moved my world. And I have done some things, man, that are a little odd. But again, sometimes somebody has to step up and go, hey, everybody over here, everyone, hey. And at that point, there's your chance for everyone to either get engaged or not. Because if you're not engaged, I'm not interested. If you're engaged in something else and I can help, I'm going to be there. But it's powerful. I try not to abuse it. I try to use it for good things. But
you have the choice.
I do have the choice. You have
that choice. You've always had that choice.
I know. And, my other friends, they'll just be like, dude, what were you thinking? It was like, yeah, I must have had a fever that night. That's what I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to go with the fever. Same thing with playing in the band. It was the same thing. What were you thinking? You could learn how to play the guitar and the set in 3 months. Like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
And have fun. I mean, it was so good just to watch you have fun.
Oh.
And that's the secret of it. Gosh, you guys were the top band. You got to.
I would lose about 7 or 8 pounds a night, man. I would just literally sweat. After each set, I'd have to change my shirt. Like, oh my god!
Well, that's why you quit wearing a shirt.
Well, and Tommy would be, as soon as we'd get to the dressing room, Tommy would be like, dude, what are you doing out there, having a clam bake? Because I'd make so many mistakes doing whatever it was, and be like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, just stand still. I'm like, really? That's what you want me to do? I don't even know that's possible, man. Yeah, really. That's like giving some kid a fireball. All right, don't move. I just want you to stand there. Like, what are you talking about, man? So I don't know what goes on in my head, man. It makes everybody's head shake. That's what I know.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Tim Bennett. This is Iconic Radio. Tim wanted to hear some Bruce Springsteen, so we got a little Leap of Faith and No Surrender. All right, we're back on. We just had little bits of some Bruce Springsteen. Tim, All right,
hold on. Before we go any further, one thing. That song right there, No Retreat, No Surrender. That song is the badge I wear. Be for real. It's just really important that you can either stand up when the bell rings and be called on, and you don't back down. This is what I do. This is how I do it. You're either part of the team or you're not. No retreat, no surrender. That's my mantra. All right, moving on. Sorry.
Well, Adam Nielsen, I always like to talk about him, a great friend. He's the one that did this menu for Iconic Cafe. And I always like to, whenever I have a guest on, get your opinion. What do you think about it?
Now, I have a little experience in the art world and making things, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
I just like to make things. Not very good at it, don't have any formal training, but, I've loved this because the guitar on the front, right?
Yep.
Love, and I love the logo and everything. But here's what I love the most is when you open it up and you look at the what's available. It's a guitar, and the strings going vertically. And is that horizontal or vertical?
Vertical.
Yeah, okay. Dude, again, not very bright. How I've gotten through my life, I don't know. But no, I love it. Great taste. It looks good. And did he come up with this too?
No, I kind of came from a girlfriend of mine. We were
someone you're still seeing?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
just checking. Hey,
And,
I'm trying to help out here. But no, absolutely. The copy, the font is great. The textures of it, absolutely beautiful. No, I would hire this cat in 1 second. What's the cat's name again?
Adam Nielsen.
Yeah, I would hire him in a second.
Very
if you're
good.
looking for some artwork and design work, this is a guy you want to go see. All right?
Very
Absolutely.
Good. There you go, Adam.
You know?
Thank you.
And by the way, Adam, make the check out to Tim Bennett. Don't worry about it. No, it looks good. Love it, man. Love it.
Well, thank you. Okay, back. We took a break, and
No retreat, no surrender.
Well, I was talking about your mom too, and you got a
Yeah.
nice story about your mom.
My mom passed away about a month and a half ago, or something like that, and she was one hell of a woman. I gotta tell you, man, one of the funniest people I've ever known. I would talk to my mom every day. I'd call her after I'd leave work, and even when I lived in Los Angeles, I would call. And my favorite thing to do with my mom when I called is we'd watch a hockey game on the TV as we talked, right? And I could always tell if the delay was fast or slow because I would hear her go. And I know there's a good play coming up, right? And I'd start counting to figure out how far the delay was. But it was truly Geraldine, man. She was hardcore. She loved hockey. She loved every game imaginable. She just loved games. And so for a gift, I got her a gaming device, if you will. And I call. I said, "Hey, Mom, tomorrow night." Blackhawks are playing, so I'll call you. Take your bath, and then I'll call you, and we'll watch the game together, right? And this is my mom, 84 years old, still driving, going out playing euchre 5 days a week, hardcore, and she will take your money, dude. She not cut you any slack. If you messed up, she wants your cake, So I call and I keep calling, and she doesn't answer. I call her cell phone, she doesn't answer. I'm like, all right, something's wrong, right? So my sister goes over. I call my sister. My sister goes over, and my mom is. She doesn't have her cell phone. She doesn't have her house phone. She is sitting in front of this device for at least 3 straight hours playing and blowing me off in the hockey game. I'm like, what are you doing, lady? She goes, oh, honey, I was on a streak. I was running it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh, it was so funny, man. I miss her to death. Gosh, man, she was something else, and her and my dad gave us one hell of a life. I am so grateful to have been born to them, and the joy that we've shared, and she will be with me to the day that I take my last breath. And very quickly, I was able to hold her hand as she moved out of this world, and we had a hockey game on, and it was the single most beautiful thing I think I've ever experienced in my life, because she held my hand when I came in, and I was able to do that same thing by being in Chicago and at Barker and Miowski and Alice Lerman, and wow. So yeah, just it's beautiful, so thanks.
What did she think of your endeavors? All this.
Well, she would shake her head All right, so like many people, but the thing that bothered her, because it would bother her once in a while, is that we would be hanging out and someone would come over and go, "Are you Tim Bennett?" Now, when that happens, there are two things that run through my head when somebody goes, "Are you Tim Bennett?" One is run. Okay. The second is say yes. Okay. But first comes should I run? Right. My brain's like, oh, okay. Do I know this person? Do I owe him money? Is it someone going to beat me up? Is someone
even
I
with your mom there?
Yeah, oh yeah. Literally, it just runs. It's like a cartoon, man. Like I gotta go. Yeah. So it would be, my mom. She was like, don't you ever get tired of that? And I said, well, sometimes, but honestly, no, because whatever I had done, that they recognized me and or wanted to approach me must have meant something to them, right? So that I would always, it would, because it really was, hey, you remember that time when you did this thing for my cousins? Like, and I hate to say no, but, I've been blessed. I've done a lot of things, and I'll usually lie and say yes. I remember. I know. I can't help it, dude. You don't want to make someone feel badly. So
you've lied to me.
Probably. But you don't like little Johnny, my nephew, had this, and you did this. You raised money or awareness or however that looked, and it would be like, oh yeah, yeah. He was great, man. I love that guy. And sometimes people go, you don't remember it all, do you? Like, nah, I'm sorry, I don't. But certainly there have been many, many moments and people, because as you very well know, most of the things I do, no one knows that I'm involved.
Yes.
Very few people know. But once in a while, the stakes are pretty high. Like Howard Park, the stakes are high. Like, Camp Millhouse, those stakes are high. Those are special people, man. That's special. It's important. And if you forget how important it is, man, you have an empty soul. So those things are important. And, I always like to have a little fun as well,
A little?
Yeah, I do, actually. I love to laugh, man. It's so important in life, man. But my mom, man, and she just would shake her head. She goes, so I saw this would be the typical conversation with her. Hey, Timmy, how you doing? Okay, how you doing, Mom? Great. Because she'd tell me all about her doctor's appointments and prescriptions and everything, right? We get to that. And everyone who has a parent knows that conversation as they get older. But and then she goes, so I was reading in the paper. All right. So I already know at this point that, okay, shoot, man, I should have told you. But and then she would just be like, so that's what you're going to do, huh? She would leave it open-ended, right? There would be no commitment. She'd just be like, yeah, so that seems like a little out there, honey. Like when I told her I was moving to Los Angeles and she was like, well, that's interesting. Like there was no good job. And my mom always kept me in line like that, And I remember for years my mom would never cheer for the Chicago Blackhawks. And one day I asked her, why? They're the closest team. Detroit and Pittsburgh, they're not close. And she'd say, honey, it's how I make you stronger. Like, really? You've been doing this my whole life? And she'd go, mm-hmm. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, she literally, until I, into my adult years, she would go, boy, I really love the Detroit Red Wings. And man, my eyelids would twitch. Like, are you stinking kidding me? So, all right, that's it. I love you, baby. Thanks for a hell of a ride.
Hey, too, we wanted to talk about, you've done some great shows and some production.
I have, man. When I've done a lot of live shows, I've spent most of my life in entertainment, man. Actually, majority of my life working, and I was able. When I worked at a place in Los Angeles, Culver City, called Design Town USA. I've made hero props and and a lot of fun stuff. And, and it would always irk these guys who like worked for the Rat, as we called it, for Mickey Mouse and Disney. Oh. They call it the Rat. These incredibly bright minds, right? Just these creative, out of control. And I would be giving them, I'd read a script or figure out what I could make, and I'd be giving them art directions, and I can't even draw a stick man. And they would be so upset, like, really, dude? You're going to give me direction? Like, yeah, and we're going to use Pantone 383C, which is coded. And, like, dude, for real? And I was like, that's right. But at the end, when the product was done, and then you would see it on a show or commercial or whatever what it would be, and you would see the end product, and and I could see those things on the page with the words. I could read the words and see it, And if I couldn't see it, I just, I would do one of my least favorite things in the world, and that's say no. But usually I knew, if I didn't know how to do it, I knew somebody who could, So I had a great little network there, and so like there was this show, Pushing Daisies. I love that show. It was a very unique, quirky little show. But we made these pop-up books, and I loved it, man. And that's the texture of life. Saying yes. What do you want to, Tim? Do you want to do this? Like, heck yeah, man. Even if I don't know how to do it, I was pretty confident I knew somebody how to do it, and that and that was always a trick. Like, my boss would go, do you have any idea what you're doing? No, I don't have any. And they're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. It'll be fine. And, I probably have caused a lot of people high blood pressure. I'm pretty sure of that. Like Tim Bennett, really? Oh, God, man, not that guy. And that's what I say. That's just me. Like, really, Tim Bennett? I almost used a bad word. So, no. And I have to say thank you so much for having me. This has been great. Bill McDonald and what you guys have done. It's outstanding. Again, I love to see people doing what they love to do. There's nothing better in the world than watching somebody do what they love to do. It's one of the most beautiful things to see, like what you guys, Brenda, is doing down there at the Iconic Cafe, man. When I see, when I'm looking at the events at the Phoenix and Cheers and 5 Star and Rocks, I know all these cats, the guy, right? Like, I know them all, man. Like Matt Webster down at Phoenix tonight, man. Yeah. And then Top Secret, Joe Arnold and Mike Bruneau and Art and the Artichokes, all those guys.
That's old school. Art
Damien, right, the bass player. When I did the inline skating thing, my feet were so bad, he came and numbed them up, right? Which, dude, it was the greatest thing ever. I should have thought about it 20 hours before because it was brutal. But, you get one chance to go through this journey. I'm fighting some health issues right now, but no retreat, no surrender. That's the mantra. Either get on board and get engaged or move aside, because I'm coming through. And bring guys like Bruce Tassell with me. And for real, man, I can't give you a better compliment than I would want you to be on my team. And, and that it's so simple. Gosh, man, it's so simple. And I'm pretty lucky, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
I'm pretty lucky, man. Good life, man. Such a knucklehead from Bowman Street in South Bend. Really? I've done that. I've been part of these great teams. So, thank you to my mom and dad and my community, my family, my sister Cindy, Billy. Just thank you for allowing me to believe in me and saying yes, and not shaking your head when I was jacked out on sugar and just completely out of my mind, and and not going, oh, hey, none of that. They always encourage me to be me. And, as I told you before, if you ask 100 people that know me, 50 will tell you they love me and 50 will tell you they hate me. But 99 of those people will admit that I'm going to show up if I know they need my help. Not caring if they like me or not. I don't really care. I'm not a high school cheerleader who needs to be popular. I don't care. I just want to be part of a great team that moves the world a little. Again, no retreat and no surrender.
All right.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Tim. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, we had Southside Denny on last week.
Oh, dude, I missed that.
Well, it is on Facebook, and I will send. Well, I can't send it to you. You don't take anything on Facebook.
I know. I'm weird like that. So I can go on. Will this show be on Facebook too?
Yep, it'll be on the Iconic and Bruce Tassell Facebook page.
That's
so
crazy.
We'll have that, and that's what I always want to thank Adam Nelson for recording this and putting it on.
Adam, my brother, thank you. That's iconic. Bruce is iconic with the average Tim Bennett. That's what I know right there. No, that's it.
All right. Well, let's go with that. All right, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next week will probably be Tommy Forte. He was a Mishawaka State wrestling champ this year. So.
Are you boys ready to wrestle? Come on, you want to wrestle?
He could take us both.
Oh, dude, with a feather, he can blow me over like, dude, you're out. See you later.
All right. Iconic Radio. We'll be back next week. Have a good week. Thank you.